Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Thailand monthly webinar for October. Today's Thailand research team will give you a glimpse of what the Thai stock market will look like in the final quarter of 2013, with key investment themes and topics for the month of October 2013, against the backdrop of political strife over controversial charter rewrite and the 2 trillion baht infrastructure loan bills in Thailand, and debt ceiling hike in the U.S., which could hurt lift sentiment in the near term. Today, we'll have two speakers. The first one is Mr. Danai Turiyapisitchai. He has been a capital market analyst for Philips Securities Thailand since 2002. Currently, he holds the position of Vice President for Equity Research. He spent more than 12 years covering property development and building material sectors. Besides being an MBA graduate from Western Michigan University, he holds a MS in Finance from Golden Gate University. He also earned designations as a Chartered Financial Analyst in 2012. The second one is Ms. Tirada Chaninyong, has been an equity strategist for Philips Securities Thailand since 2004, employing a top-down investment approach to look for appropriate investment themes at the right time, and updating both institutional and individual investors about the outlook for the Thai stock market. Okay. For today, the presentation will be divided into three parts. The first one is the outlook and investment themes that would be presented by myself, Tirada. And then Kundanai would come to give you the detail of each topic. And then we will end with the Q&A session. During the presentation, please feel free to type in or post your questions, and we will answer them at the end. Okay, let's start with the outlook first. As this is the first month of the first quarter, so we will talk a bit about the outlook for the first quarter first, and then go to the view of the month. From the chart, you will see the Thai stock market performance during October to December period over the last 10 years. On the right-hand side chart, it shows that the fourth quarter often being a good quarter of the market, as it has been higher 7 out of 10 years with the average rate of return nearly 4%. But on the left-hand side chart, it shows the performance in October in the last 10 years. Only 60% trading higher than previous months, and the average return was negative by 1%. For this year, in the short-term pictures in October, we expect to see the index move in the downside bias, especially at the beginning of quarters in October, as we expect to see the highly volatility that will be happen amid of the ongoing political uncertainties both in home and abroad. But for the longer term, after more clarity over several factors, we still expect the SET index to rally by the end of year. So, if we expect to see the rally by the end of year, what will be the support factors? We foresee a couple things. The first one of them is the export. As actually for this year, the export side is seem posed quite a disappointing performance in the first 7 months of this year. However, in August, the latest month, the data show the improvement. The growth of the export in August was 3.9%, and it showed this likely trade deficit of only $95 million US, which was the lowest level in this year. That's showing a good sign on the yen export high season kickoff, I think. Another driver is the tourism. As the tourism is also entering to its high season periods in the year-end. As you can see from the chart that the number of the tourists are always soar up in the last 3 months of the years, like this. Even in the 2011, with Thailand facing with the flooding disaster, the number of tourists has jumped back to the normal level very soon in December. For this year, the occupancy rate was higher at almost 67% in August, which is pretty much higher compared to the rate of 61% in 2012. And we also expect to see the further improvement in the high season to come. And the last one is the driver for longer term, but it also impacts the short-term investment. We think that it will be the mega infrastructure project. Any progress in the 2 trillion loan bill, 2 trillion baht loan bill approval would pose a positive sign to call back investment confidence. Although we are not so much on the 2012 disbursement, as we can see from the chart that very small amount of disbursements we expected for this year. But at least if the bill passed the process of approval, that should be complete in this year. That would be good for the upcoming investment to boost the economy in the next 7 years. So let's see where is the situation right now on about the deal and about the political situation in Thailand. About the 2 trillion baht infrastructure loan bills is now has been in process of the Senate approval. Actually, it just passed the first reading last night, and waiting for the second and third readings before submitting for the King's endorsement. And we think that will take a few months term from now. Another hot issue for Thai politics right now is the Charters Amendments bills. Actually, from the chart, you can see that the process is pretty much the same with the 2 trillion baht loan bills. But for the charter amendments, the government has to do it section by section. And the uncertainty is coming from the petition filings to the constitutional court by the government opponents along the way. The more case filing, the more chance of delaying, and easier to ignite the street rally. Like at the moment, there is a small group of people who anti former Premier Thaksin Shinawatra may do a demonstration in front of the government house at the moment and call for government to go away. So that is the short-term risk for the markets on the political uncertainties. And frankly speaking, for the political things, it's hard to predict what will happen in the politics. But we think there is a possibility of the early house dissolution before ending of the government term in 2015. Why we think that? That's because if the significant sections are successfully amended, sure, government would dissolve the parliament in order to use the new constitution. But on the other hand, if something happened along the way, by the court ruling or the violence in the street demonstration, the government also has an option to dissolve the house anytime. So we add these two falling charts for you, showing how the SET index reacts on the significant event in the political side, like the House dissolution or elections. The statistics told us that the market has turned negative after the House dissolution for around 3 weeks. Here, right now, around 3 weeks after the House dissolution. That's maybe because the market needs more time to assess the situation first, so then they go down first. But for the election things, it's seen being a good news for the stock market, as the statistics show the quite impressive returns before the election, 3 months before the election, with the average rate around 7.5% in upside before the election, ahead of 3 months ahead of the election. It may come from the hope that the current government will give more stimulus measures to boost the consumption in favor of the voting, or more political linked stock trading would create higher market volume and push the market up. So in sum, we have still maintained our year-end index target at 1470 based on PE multiple of 14 times, with the hope to see more growth driven by high season of export tourism and the progression of the 2 trillion baht loan deals. But in short terms, in October, we expect to see a choppy downside amid of political uncertainty, both internal and external front, especially in the U.S. Particularly in this couple of weeks, we're waiting for the debt ceiling issue to have more clarifying from the U.S. Political side. But after that, we think the greater political clarities in the U.S. and the onset of the 3Q's corporate earnings season, with banks to be the first to release their quarterly earnings report, should spur some speculative buying. Therefore, the market pullback should be a buying opportunity for investors. On the technical views, the indicators started to turn positive as shown in the chart. The MACD is going to cross above signal line here, while the modified stochastic and RSI have already positive bullish sentiments as the %K line cross above %D here. And for the ISI, also cross above the signal lines already, right here. So the support level would be around 1350, while the resistance would be 1470, or even a little bit higher than our year-end target to 1500. So selective, strong fundamental play will be the key investment themes for the month. Our recommendation picks including 5 stocks, the 2 from the technical view and 3 from the fundamental side. That are Thai Airways and GFPT from technical picks, and Krung Thai Bank, Nok Airlines, and Siam Cement from fundamental picks. Let's move on to the details of each stock pick. Start with the 2 base picks from the technical view first. The first one is the Thai Airways. That was the buying signal for modified stochastic after %K crossed above %D line and move off oversold domain around here. So it could run up to test its 25-week EMA at 22 baht, or even to 75-week EMA at 24 baht respectively. The next one for the technical view is technical picks is GFPT. It's in trading in sideways uptrend and the recent price turned to stay above all moving average line again. Indicator remain bullish as modified stochastic holding above its support level here. So it could be hit for a retest the resistance on the uptrend line on the sideways up around 10.3 to 10.5 baht. So that is the two best picks from the technical side. Then I'll move you on other three picks from fundamental side presented by Khun Danai.
Okay, let's start on the fundamental side. The first one is Kung Thai Bank. Kung Thai Bank is the second biggest lender or the second largest bank in Thailand in terms of the asset. And they have the government agency, so-called the Financial Institution Development Fund, FIDF, is the major shareholder to hold the stake 55% on the KTB. So they are very close to the government agency. It's not surprising the bank has the largest loan exposure to the state agency and the state enterprise in the banking sector. About 19% of the total loans is the loan from the government agency. For this reason, when they have the government project is coming out in the future, let's say when we have a 2 trillion project is come out, the KTB will be the first one to reap the benefit, or the first one to lend out the project to the government for sure. And we expect in the third quarters has been should report a net profit pretty good. It's 9.9 billion in the third quarters. It's up 54% Q on Q and 11% year on year due to the continued loan growth momentum, lower loan loss provision, and the last one is they got the dividend from their investment in the Value Park Fund. And KTB is also, we see the KTB as the high yield play among the big banks. Our forecast is suggesting the KTB will pay the dividend 90 stang per share. It's calculated on the latest close is give you the yield of 4.5%. And because on the interim dividend, they don't pay any dividend, interim dividend at this year. So you get the 90 stang per share. And we rated the KTB a buy with the target price 25 baht a share, offer the 30% upside, and our target price is based on 1.5 times price per book ratio for the year of 2014. The next one, as our strategies is pointed out, we will have the tourism peaking out in the fourth quarter. That's why we pick Nok Airlines. And this airline is we call the budget airline. They operated under the brand the Nok Air and the Nok Mini. At the moment, their fleet is 19 aircrafts. Around 12 of them is 189 seat aircraft. 5 of them is 34 seat, and 2 planes with a 34 seat. And at the end of this year, they will add 3 more. So at the end of this year, they will have 21 aircraft on hand. In the first half of this year, the cabin factors, the percentage of the seats is rose to 87% from 83% from years ago. As the rising tourist numbers is pushing the passenger traffic up to 47% year on year to to 0.83 million passengers, and all of their passengers, around 38% is the business traveler, is a leisure tourist 35%, and 23% is a passenger who travel abroad to see their relative. So in terms of the strategy of the company is focused on the second-tier provinces. Why? Because they got a very small size of the plane, and on the second-tier provinces they have quite a very small terminal, so they can handle just a very small plane, and that's why in this market is the big one, the big airline cannot travel to these second-tier provinces. This is open the opportunity for the Nok Air to penetrate this market. That's what I call the niche market. And due to the lack competition, Nok has full control of the market in most of the second-tier provinces. And the growth of the second-tier provinces has been outpaces that of the major provinces. That's we call the differentiation from the rivals, low-cost carriers, which their competitors has one side aircraft size, so they cannot pierce into this kind of the market. Even though the third quarters is traditionally low season for the air travel, but we believe the capacity addition from the new and the larger aircraft and the new routes to Myanmar should lead the Nok to report year-on-year earnings of the growth in the third quarters. The earnings is expected to peak in the fourth quarter, so it's a good thing about to come in the fourth quarters, because it is the high season and the air travel, and the Nok will add two new aircraft to their fleet and open the new route to Myanmar in the fourth quarter. Looking ahead into the 2014, the Nok will add 5 more aircraft to their fleet, so their fleet will go to 26 aircraft from 2013 is 21 aircraft. This will open more new regional, more domestic routes, is increase more revenue. And the earning growth momentum is set to go well in the 2014. In our view, Nok receive we like it because its earning growth profile is high. The best dividend yields of order in the airline sector, and our target price is 36.75 baht per share. That's based on the 17 times earnings. Okay, the last one. We like why we pick Siam Cement, because it's the best company to capitalize on the renovation after flooding. And you know, right now they have flooding in Thailand. It's I think now is in the process of draining the water into the Thai basins at the end. So the third quarter, from the middle of the third quarter, is that they have the flooding. But we believe in the middle of the fourth quarter, the flooding will go away, and then at that time they will have the renovation and reconstruction will kick in, and for sure, when you reconstructing, when you rebuild something, we got to have the cement as a basic material. For the demand in the 8th month of this year, the demand is up 12%. And for the second part of this year, usually is the low season effect. Usually the low season because of the rainy season, and this year you 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 have more flooding. But I think in the first half you have a growth very high, 12%, and for the target is 6 to 7% for the whole year. But when we take into the account on the low season and flooding, I think the target is reachable. And Siam Cement is the largest market share in cement, 39 to 40%. So when we are expecting some demand from the cement demand from the renovation, reconstruction in the late fourth quarter, Siam Cement will be the largest, will reap the largest portion of that benefit. And next one, the earning momentum is remain on track. Before I go into the earning momentum, Siam Cement, they have three main business. Cement business and building material is comprised of 37% of the total profit. Petrochemical 32%, paper 12%, and the holding company 19%. Holding company is mostly they invest in the company like Kubota, agricultural machinery. So they sell them like the tractor for the farmer. And when we looking for the earnings for last year, 2012, is so bad because the petrochemical spread is so low. And the price of the petrochemical is headed down. When they headed down, they have the stop loss book last year. So the earnings of the petrochemical is very depressed. On the other hand, last year is a good year for the construction and construction activities. We can see the cement and building material is growing very well. The paper last year have a rising sale and sale margin, but they have a weak performance in the second half because they have the fire accident in their raw material plant. So the production of last year in the paper business has been disrupted. So overall, is in the 2012 is very weak year. You can see on the table, they have a profit 23, 24 billion. So we are looking for the big improvement this year on 2013. As I said before, the cement is no worry. We are going to meet the target, and our target is a growth of 6 to 8%. On the price of the cement price, the year to date price is already sub 9%. So the cement building material is no worry. One of the reasons for that is when we are looking at the construction activity in Thailand is growing a lot. Even though we still waiting for the 2 trillion project. One of the reasons is that because of the construction work of the main contractor in Thailand, they already have the work on hand 4 to 5 times of the revenue last year. So that means they have more work to construct in the year ahead. In the same time, we are looking at the housing developer for the last 2 years, even this year. They have a housing booking is growing like 10% to 15%, and they also have the construction on the condominium to be transferred in the second half and next year. So on the construction activity, we think it remains strong until in the second half and also next year. On the paper side, this year we are looking at more volume because last year the production has been disrupted. This year when the production of the raw material is restarted, we will be looking for the smooth production. But on the paper side, the company tried to scale down the printing and writing because the printing and writing trend is in the downtrend, because people are more likely not to printed out. Just people like to see in the screen of the computer instead of printed thing out. So the paper, they are more likely to scale down the printing and writing and more focus on the packaging. The packaging paper is using by the small medium-sized business. They use for their client is more likely in the exporter sector. So it's more business ahead. And in Thailand we have our country is rely heavily on the export business. So this business in the packaging is, I think, is more likely. It's really good in the near term. For the petrochemicals, this year is the spread is coming out the trough because this year is a less supply, new supply, because for the last 3 or 4 years, the new supply is coming up to the market is increased by 5% or more. But for this year and a few years ahead, the new supply will growing like 3%. So we are looking at less supply, and this year demand is getting gradually pick up. You can see the China economic data is improving. So on the spread figure on the 9 months of this year, the spread of the polyethylene naphtha is going up 100 US dollar per ton. So on the petrochemical side, we think this year is has quite a big jump. So on total, we are looking at the EPS growth is 53%. So on the Siam Cement side, we think the catalyst on the near term is to catch up the benefit of the reconstruction after the flood, and also on the earning growth momentum is still up. And next year, we think it's still going to go like 10% or 11%. And right now, the share price is trading on 15 or 14 times versus the PE historical band is 16 times. And on our valuation basis, we use the DCF. It comes out 510 baht. On the current share price, we think we have a little bit more room from the upside related to buy on this one. That would be all on our presentation. If you have any question, you can ask right now. Or you can write down and we can answer. The acquisition plan is an ongoing plan. They recently they make they will have an acquisition plan on in the regional. Another way to say is in Thailand, the Siam Cement will have 3 business. They have paper, petrochemical, cement. In Indonesia, they now have exposure in the building material, in the petrochemical, and the last one they try to acquire some business there is a paper business. On the Vietnam side, they already have the paper, they already have the petrochemical, and they will have a petrochemical big project in the year ahead. I can say the acquisition plan is ongoing. I believe they have budget like 40 billion baht to 50 billion baht for the acquisition, and mostly they will do in the regional because their objective is to be number one in the Asian. Any other question? Yeah. มีแล้วทวนคำถามด้วยทวนคำถามด้วยThe global slowdown has an impact on Siam Cement or not, but I think mostly their business is 65% is they sell locally, but 35% is on export. But what your question is, the global slowdown has any impact on Siam Cement? Yes, maybe some impact because 35% to 37% of the profit is come from the petrochemical, and the petrochemical is mostly related to the global growth or global GDP. So, but at the moment, I think maybe the impact is not so much right now, because you can see that China is getting better, European is getting better. Airport or transportation authority of Thailand. So the next question. The next one on the upcoming.
The next question about the season in tourism coming up. Our other recommendation besides the airline is the airport of Thailand, AOT, and also minor group
Mint. อะไรทำไมถึงเลือกเอวคือสนามบินแห่งชาตินักท่องเที่ยวเดินทางก็ต้องมาลองที่กันไปนะ Any other question? Okay, thank you for your attention. We'll see you next month. Thank you.